I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my creative healing course is filled with hours of exclusive content. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about how to handle breakup depression. Well, Margaret, this obviously affects just about anybody going through a breakup.
Yes, it does. And because the anxiety is sometimes so totally overwhelming, we forget to get to the depression.
Yeah. I think the anxiety is oftentimes the feeling that's so overwhelming that it almost drives all of your thoughts and how you all of your behaviors.
Sure.
And, you know, the depression has a very different impact on your body and your experience. Whereas the anxiety is kind of like front and center, like you aren't ignoring me.
Yeah.
You are not going to ignore me for 1 second.
Said your anxiety to you. Yeah, you better fix this.
So, Margaret, what do you have for us today?
Okay, I read an article that I particularly liked, and I want to share it.
What was the name of the article?
How to Handle Breakup Depression, published by Thrive Global Community. There are various organizations out there who collect articles on mental health and breakups and all sorts of things.
Yep.
And the Thrive Global Community is one of them. This article was written by a gentleman named Luke, and that's the only way he advertises himself as the Thrive Global Community.
So we don't know if he has any kind of degree?
We don't have any idea.
Okay.
I would guess he does. I would guess he does just from what I read here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The full title of the article, there's more, is called Affirmations for Depression, 27 Positive Affirmations that can help alleviate feelings of depression. Okay. Now, I know I often go back to affirmations, but I'm only going to read you a few, I promise.
Well, we've talked about affirmations several times, and we've given you several different different ways to write down your own affirmations and activities in previous articles. In fact, because we thought they were so helpful, there are 10 different affirmations in the course, 10 separate affirmations that are in the new Creative Healing course.
It's very powerful. Anyway, okay. So, as we all know, depression is often triggered by a significant life event, such as a breakup of a relationship or the death of a loved one.
Yep.
Okay, it's a major event that often triggers it. And how do you know that you have it? You feel sad, but there is also an element of feeling worthless, guilty, and beating yourself up.
I think guilt is the big one in there, right?
Absolutely. And do we hear about people beating themselves up?
Today. I heard it today.
Me too.
I heard it today.
I blew it. I said the wrong thing. I did the wrong thing. And, you know, most of the time we do the best we can. We do make mistakes, but we hear people beating themselves up and obsessing about if I had said this differently, if I had said that differently.
We'd still be together.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And I know. I did that.
Sure.
You sit there and you just obsess over it. It's very difficult to let go of.
Yep. So how do you know you have depression? First and foremost, most people have less energy than usual, okay? And don't enjoy the things they once normally did enjoy.
Oh, that's big.
It is, yeah. In other words, it's called anhedonia, if you want a big word. And that means an inability to experience pleasure. So if you used to love eating spaghetti and now suddenly spaghetti's just kind of run-of-the-mill, chances are you're depressed.
Yep.
If you watch your favorite TV show and it seems boring that day, you sort of lose interest in all the things that used to interest you.
Yeah,
okay?
Maybe it's movies or hobbies or your favorite sports team, things like that.
And sometimes you just don't have the energy to turn on the TV, too, because you have that lack of energy as well. Okay, so that's one way you know if you're depressed. Most people will deny being depressed unless you help them explore it, because it always sounds like somehow, well, I shouldn't be depressed. Never mind should or shouldn't. Feelings just are.
Yeah.
It's okay to have them.
Yep.
Okay. Oftentimes people don't eat or sleep as regularly as they used to. That's one of the big symptoms of depression. And most people will say it when right after the breakup, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. And the Europeans tell me how many kilos they lost, and I have no idea what they said. Okay?
Yeah. Or stones.
Or stones,
I
yeah.
lost 3 stones.
Yeah.
You did. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. The most serious symptom of depression is suicidal thoughts. Okay? Then you certainly know you have them. You start thinking, maybe the world would be better off without me. Okay?
Which is never,
ever
an option.
Right.
Okay? You will get better. No matter how bad it feels right now,
Yes.
it will get better
It will
in
get
time.
better. Okay. Now, the overlooked symptoms of depression, and what I'm going to talk about right now, irritability, and what I have labeled general grumpiness. Okay? You don't like anything. The food doesn't taste right. The air's too humid. Your chair isn't comfortable. And you don't like whatever it is you're having for
Everything
lunch.
gets on your nerves.
Everything gets on your nerves.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's often a symptom for adults and for children. And people will say, well, my child has no reason to be sad. Yeah, but he's been grumpy. That's why you brought him in here. Okay? Nobody responds to sad, but if children are really grumpy and irritable, that's how they get some attention. Sometimes this goes undiagnosed because the person doesn't look sad. Okay? So what I'm saying is, depression doesn't always manifest with people looking sad. Don't forget about grumpiness. Okay. Facts to know. Women are more likely to develop depression than men, although men certainly do it as well, have depression as well. I think sometimes we miss it if they're only irritable and not sad. Childhood trauma is probably the most common cause of ongoing recurrent depressions. And I think it's entirely possible that because women are abused like that more often than men, that's why women are more prone to it. That's only my opinion.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Difficult emotional circumstances can influence depression. And this is why I took this article, this next paragraph. For example, the investment of time and emotional energy and the vulnerability offered in trust and physical intimacy, okay, can lead to devastation and depression when the relationship ends. So if you stop and think about what you've invested, right, it's a huge amount of energy, time, emotional energy, being vulnerable, right? Vulnerable enough to trust them enough to be physical with them. That's a lot of investment.
And like the thoughts about, the future and planning your life.
Absolutely.
Not just like if you think about all the time and energy we would think about discussing what we're going to do in the future.
Absolutely.
Or children we might have,
Yes.
or all those things.
Where we might live. And
that's an investment.
Yeah. And, when you share your dreams and so forth, that's a huge investment. Okay? Now, the article says at this point, and I'm going to take issue with it, learning to let go of feelings of loss, resentment, abandonment, and other heartbreaking emotions can help prevent depressive episodes from lingering. Now, how do you learn to let go of emotions? No one ever told me that in therapy school. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's a fairly new term, let go of emotions. And it leads people to think it's easy. So someone might say, well, you better just let go of that depression and resentment you hold towards so-and-so. What does that mean? I have a picture of the emotions flying out the window.
Yeah.
Let go of. The older term...
It seems like, how could you let go of it unless you let go of the thoughts behind it?
Right.
And how do you let go? You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like, don't think about those things.
Yeah, and they'll go away.
Good luck. Good luck with telling your anxiety just to go away.
The older term that we've kind of lost sense of, because we've lost our sense of process. In the old days, you'd be told to work through those emotions,
Yep.
which is still true, and the only reasonable way to do it. And what do we mean by work through? What we tell you about any emotion and how to deal with it. First, you name it, okay, and then you feel it. And that's how you process an emotion. And you can't let go of an emotion that you haven't processed. Okay, so I'm arguing with the terminology here. But you need to work through feelings of loss, resentment, of course. How could this person do this to me after all I invested? Okay?
Yeah.
Abandonment and other heartbreaking emotions. So working through those can help prevent depressive episodes from lingering or recurring. Okay? Because you can have a depression, sort of half deal with it, go on with your life, and back it will come to see you again before you really work through those feelings.
Which is one of the things that we talk about with your ex, that,
Right.
you know, oftentimes it looks like they're moving on so easily, and Margaret is telling you if they don't deal with it, they're going to get a depression.
It will be back, yeah. You can't have that kind of a loss and not have it register, okay? Okay, so here are some affirmations for depression resulting from a breakup, okay? And this article points out that affirmations change your brain chemistry, all right? The positive messaging helps to create and support a foundation for recovery. And I just picked out a few. I think they have 27 here. You don't want to hear 27. But here are a few. My family loves me. My friends care for me and value my friendship. Being depressed is not my fault. I don't need to feel guilty. I like that one a lot, okay? Being depressed is not my fault. And people will say to me, well, I shouldn't be depressed. No, there's no should or shouldn't with emotions, okay? And no, it's not your fault, but you are, and let's deal with it. So being depressed is not my fault, and I don't need to feel guilty. Because the last thing you need if you're depressed is to feel guilty, too.
Because probably at the root of the depression is guilt.
Absolutely right, yeah.
So that's going to continue the cycle.
Yeah. Now, here's my all-time favorite one they have on this list.
Okay.
This feeling will pass. Just keep breathing. Okay? And that is true. All feelings will pass, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a couple of people just recently say it's about 6 or 8 weeks, and I feel very slightly better. You know? So time does heal. Just keep breathing. My depression does not define me. In other words, I'm not going to go around the world with gloom and doom for the rest of my life. I'm depressed right now, but I'm dealing with it, and I'll be okay. All right? I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I need to take things one step at a time. And I take that to mean all of the people who are saying you need to let go of these feelings, like you could do it instantly. Okay? So you don't have to do anything. You take your time. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to go back to anybody and say, well, I'm over it now, like you said I should be. No. Take things one step at a time.
Yep.
Okay? I'm proud of myself for getting through this day. That's a very good one. Okay? When you're struggling with all kinds of other things, it's hard. I love myself unconditionally. If you get to that point, that's wonderful. Okay? Even if you mess up, you got to forgive yourself for it. Okay? I love myself and I release myself from feelings of guilt and hurt and sorrow. Okay? I am healing. And that's what I have for you from this today. I like to keep breathing one the best.
Do you?
Yes. This too will pass. I'll just keep breathing. Yep.
It's helpful to realize you got to process.
Yes, there's a process. It's not instant.
It's not instant, and it takes time. And there's going to be good days, and there's going to be bad days. And in the beginning, there's going to be a lot more bad days than good. And that's normal. And eventually, you'll start to feel better one way or another.
Yes.
Regardless of what happens with your ex,
Right.
You're going to be okay. Margaret and I have quite a few videos on affirmations if you like these.
Yes.
And like I said, we thought so highly of them that we did 10 separate tracks on the creative course.
Right.
And 3 of them have Margaret, 4 with me, and 3 with the new coach. So they're great. And
Right.
you can listen to them whenever, and it helps you relax and feel better.
Remember, they used to say you're crazy if you talk to yourself. Now they're saying it's a really good thing.
Exactly.
If you go out to the grocery store and say, Craig, you've done a wonderful job today of taking care of everything you had to. Say that as you walk by the canned goods.
Yeah, as long as somebody else in there doesn't respond, that's when we're going to have some
That's
issues.
when we'll have some problems. Okay?
Yeah.
So talk to yourself. We recommend it.
All right, good stuff. And if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret, of course, is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful to you, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth,
I'm Coach Margaret.
and we will talk with you soon.